Hey there. We're diving deep today
Okay.
into this whole world of coaching,
Right.
specifically for you listening.
Okay.
You're thinking about tackling
Yeah.
life's curveballs head on,
Yeah.
right? And you're curious how coaching could help you actually thrive,
Mm-hmm.
not just survive.
Sounds like you're ready to move from passive to proactive,
Exactly.
which is exciting.
And we've got this intriguing blog post from Ingomu.
Okay.
It's a coaching app
Right.
that's got me thinking.
Yeah.
They're all about unlocking potential,
Mm-hmm.
but they start by saying
Okay.
coaching isn't about fixing problems.
Interesting.
What do you make of that?
It's a fascinating point.
Okay.
It highlights how coaching diverges from therapy,
Okay.
which often focuses on healing past wounds or managing mental health conditions.
Right.
Coaching, on the other hand,
Yep.
is forward-focused.
Oh.
It's about equipping you with the skills and mindset to design the life you want.
So it's less about fixing
Yeah.
and more about building. I like that.
Yeah.
And they keep mentioning SMART goals.
Right.
Is that just a buzzword or is there something to it?
It's actually more than just a catchy acronym.
Okay.
SMART goals,
Okay.
which stand for specific, measurable, achievable, relevant, and time-bound,
Okay.
tap into how our brains are wired for success.
Gotcha.
They provide a framework that makes goals feel less daunting and more attainable. Think about it. If
Yeah.
your goal is too vague,
Yeah.
like be happier,
Right.
it's hard to know where to even start.
Right.
But a SMART goal breaks it down.
So instead of be happier,
Yeah.
a SMART goal might be.
Exactly. It might be, I will incorporate 15 minutes of mindfulness meditation into my morning routine 4 times a week for the next month to increase my sense of calm and contentment.
Wow.
See how that takes a vague desire and turns it into a concrete, actionable plan?
It's like going from a fuzzy daydream to a detailed blueprint.
Exactly.
That makes a lot of sense.
Yeah.
And this Ingomu post dives into different coaching flavors,
Okay.
like life, wellness, career, even spiritual.
Right.
Is that just marketing hype, or are those distinctions really meaningful?
It reflects the understanding that we're not one-dimensional.
Right.
You might be killing it in your career, but feeling stuck in your personal life, right?
Really?
Or vice versa.
Yeah.
These coaching specialties acknowledge that our goals and challenges are often intertwined across different areas of our lives.
So you're not just fixing one piece, you're looking at the whole puzzle.
Right.
They go on to give these 5 actionable steps for tackling stress and anxiety.
Okay.
Want to walk through those?
Absolutely. Let's unpack those steps.
Okay.
Starting with step 1, setting those clear, achievable goals we were just talking about.
Right.
Those SMART goals.
Okay.
This sets the stage for everything else.
They stress it's about building resilience, not just putting Band-Aids on problems.
Right.
So what's their next big tip?
Step 2 is where the rubber meets the road. It's about building healthy coping mechanisms for stress because, let's face it,
Right.
stress is,
It's unavoidable.
unavoidable.
It's how we respond to it that determines our well-being.
Exactly.
Yeah, it's like that saying, you can't stop the waves,
Right.
but you can learn to surf. So are they talking about bubble baths and meditation retreats here, or what?
Actually, they get surprisingly practical.
Okay.
They recommend things like mindfulness exercises, physical activity journaling,
Okay.
things you can actually incorporate into your daily life.
Yeah.
And there's a growing body of research showing how these practices can physically change the brain,
Wow.
reducing those stress responses over time.
They even include a simple breathing exercise right there in the post.
Mm-hmm.
It's like, here, try this right now. See how it feels.
Exactly.
Yeah.
It emphasizes that this isn't just theoretical fluff.
Okay.
They're giving you tools to experiment with and find what works for you.
Mhm.
And that leads into step 3,
Okay.
which is all about personalized approaches to well-being.
So what works for me might not work for you, right?
Precisely.
Like, I might find running therapeutic, but you'd rather be out in nature hiking.
Exactly. We all have different personalities, lifestyles, and preferences.
Right.
A good coach helps you identify those and create a plan that fits you
Yeah.
rather than trying to fit you into a prepackaged box.
It's like finding your own unique recipe for well-being with a coach as your guide in the kitchen.
Right.
Okay, what about step 4? They call it prioritizing self-care.
Right?
Isn't that where the bubble baths come in?
Well, it can be,
Okay.
but it's really about recognizing that taking care of yourself isn't selfish.
Right.
It's essential.
Mm-hmm.
It's about replenishing your energy so you can show up fully in all areas of your life.
And they emphasize that self-care doesn't have to be this big, elaborate thing. It could be as simple as taking a few minutes each day to read a book, listen to music, or just disconnect from the world and recharge. Small, consistent actions can make a big difference.
Absolutely. And that leads perfectly into step 5, which is building emotional resilience.
Yes.
It's about developing that inner strength to navigate challenges and bounce back from setbacks. Because let's face it,
Right.
life throws curveballs.
It sounds like this step is about going beyond coping mechanisms to actually changing how we react to stress at a deeper level. So how do they suggest we build that inner resilience?
They give some really interesting examples like practicing gratitude,
Yeah.
cultivating a more positive outlook,
Mm-hmm.
and even treating yourself with more compassion. It's about changing your inner dialogue from self-criticism to self-support.
Which is probably where having a coach can be really helpful, right?
Definitely.
It's like having someone in your corner reminding you of your strengths and encouraging you when you stumble. Speaking of support, they don't shy away from the tough stuff. They actually mention the 988 Suicide and Crisis Lifeline.
I thought that was really responsible of them. It shows a depth of understanding that sometimes people need more than coaching. They need immediate support.
Right.
And it highlights that asking for help is a sign of strength, not weakness.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
Now let's talk about how Ingomu fits into all of this. They're not just sharing these steps out of the goodness of their hearts, right?
Right. They're a business after all.
Yeah.
They go on to introduce their coaching app, which, to be fair, does seem to align with their message of accessible well-being. They highlight having a diverse range of coaches so you can find someone who specializes in your specific needs.
And they emphasize the convenience factor. Thousands of on-demand sessions, group coaching options. It's definitely tapping into that desire for flexibility and support in our fast-paced world.
Oh.
But before we get too deep into the app itself, let's talk about the science behind all of this.
Mm-hmm.
Do we have any evidence that coaching actually works?
That's the million-dollar question, right?
Right.
And this is where the blog post gets really interesting because they actually cite some compelling research. For example, there are studies showing that coaching can lead to significant reductions in stress anxiety and even symptoms of depression.
Okay, so it's not just people saying they feel better. There's actual data to back it up.
Exactly. And it goes beyond just feeling better. There's also research showing that coaching can improve things like self-worth, self-compassion, and resilience. These are qualities that can have a ripple effect on all areas of life.
So it's not just about fixing a problem. It's about changing your whole approach to life from the inside out.
I think that's a great way to put it.
Yeah.
And it's important to note that the research on coaching is still relatively new,
Okay.
but it's a rapidly growing field, and the initial findings are very promising.
That's really exciting.
Yeah.
Now, they wrap up this blog post with a really thought-provoking question, and I'd love to get your take on it. They ask, have you considered what your own SMART goals would be? They even provide several examples for work-life wellness and spiritual goals, which might be helpful for those feeling stuck. It's like they're nudging us to get specific, to move beyond vague aspirations and actually define what we want to create.
It's crucial, honestly.
Okay.
Because without those clear, measurable goals,
Right.
it's easy to get lost in the day-to-day and lose sight of the bigger picture.
Yeah.
And that's where coaching can really shine.
Okay.
It's not just about having someone tell you what to do. It's about having a thought partner who helps you clarify your vision, break down those bigger goals into manageable steps, and then holds you accountable for actually taking those steps.
So it's like having a personal trainer,
Right.
but for your life, not just your workout.
Exactly.
They help you stay motivated,
Yeah.
push past those limiting beliefs, and celebrate those small wins along the way.
Exactly. And I think the fact that Ingomu includes those SMART goal examples,
Yeah.
even though they're a business trying to sell an app,
Right.
speaks volumes,
Right.
because it shows they're not just about quick fixes or passive listening. They're invested in empowering people with the tools and knowledge to make lasting changes, whether or not they ever use their app.
It's like they're saying, we're here to guide you, but ultimately, you're the expert on your own life.
Absolutely. And that's such a powerful message because it puts the responsibility and the agency back in your hands.
Right.
It reminds you that you have the power to choose how you respond to challenges, to set boundaries, to prioritize your well-being, and ultimately to create a life that aligns with your values and aspirations.
So as we wrap up this deep dive into the world of coaching,
Yeah.
what's the one thing you'd want our listener to walk away with today?
I think it's this.
Yeah.
Whether or not you ever hire a coach, embrace that proactive approach to well-being.
Okay.
Start paying attention to those areas of your life where you feel stuck or unfulfilled.
Right.
Get curious about your own patterns and beliefs.
Mm-hmm.
And most importantly, start taking small, consistent actions towards creating the life you want.
Okay.
It might feel daunting at first,
Right.
But remember, even small steps in the right direction can lead to incredible transformations.
That's such a great note to end on. It's a reminder that we're not just passengers on this journey, we're the drivers, and we have the power to choose the direction, adjust the course, and enjoy the ride. Thanks for taking this deep dive with us today. Until next time, keep exploring, keep growing, and keep believing in your own potential.